Welcome back, everyone. The iPhone 12 has been out for quite a bit of time already, a couple of months, and I wanted to go ahead and finish up a couple of these comparisons that I wanted to do. And this time, we're going to be looking at the Samsung Galaxy Note 9 and seeing how it holds up against the iPhone 12. Now, what's very interesting between these two phones is that the Note 9 came out a couple of years ago. It came out in 2018, so it's definitely not a brand new phone anymore. But when you look at them, not a lot, there's not a lot of crazy differences. It's not like the Note 9 looks way better than the iPhone 12 and vice versa. There's a lot of capability between both phones, but the Note 9 has a lot of capability still, which still surprises me in some ways. Now, if you want to find, if you want to get these for the cheapest prices that I find, I'll link them down in the description. You can get them from Amazon and help support the channel at the same time. Now, side by side, you can definitely see that the Samsung Galaxy Note 9 is a far bigger device than the iPhone 12. And as you can see, I just got a random update, and hopefully it doesn't randomly update while I'm making a video. But what I can tell you is that for sure, at the end of the day, the Samsung Galaxy Note 9's panel is extremely beautiful. It has a massive 6.4-inch panel. It's a Super AMOLED display, and it's a very good panel for the most part. It's not ugly. It's very, very good. I very rarely had problems with it ever, and I think the biggest, advantage is that it's 1440p, and it's just so nice. There's very little bezel at the top and bottom. It's just very good. I don't know what else other synonyms I can say to make it seem like a better display. I don't think it's bad. It curves on the side too, which gives it a little bit more of a premium feeling to it. So for sure, the Samsung Galaxy Note 9 has a really, really good panel, where the iPhone 12, on the other hand, has a little bit of a smaller 6.1-inch Super Retina XDR OLED panel. The resolution is a little bit above Full HD, so not quite 1440p, but still a really good panel at the end of the day. And the viewing angles are great. You do have a notch up top, so you have less bezel, I think, overall on something like an iPhone 12 than the Note 9. So that may be cool for some people, so keep that in mind. If you're in that ballpark where you want the least amount of bezel, then maybe the iPhone 12 is a better way to go. But if you don't like having a notch, then the Note 9 is probably the one for you. So in terms of the front, I'll probably end up giving the edge to the Samsung Galaxy Note 9. On the bottom, you have a USB Type-C port, Lightning port on the iPhone 12, but you do actually have the S Pen on the Note 9 as well, which is really cool. If you don't know what the S Pen is, basically it's like a stylus. Now, the iPhone 12 doesn't have anything like that, so there's not fair to compare it, but the Note 9 has it, which is really cool. In terms of the thickness, and this is where you can really see how much big of a difference there is. I mean, the iPhone 12 is definitely a much smaller phone than the Note 9, but still a really good phone for sure. And on the back, you can see dual camera setups on both and glass backs on both as well. And I definitely think the Note 9 feels like a more premium device still. It has a better heft to it. It feels like the weight is more evenly distributed, and it just feels like a more premium phone. The iPhone 12 still feels premium. It feels lighter, and it feels like it's very top heavy, where the Note 9 feels a little bit better, in terms of the weight disparity. So I think in terms of the feeling and everything, the Samsung Galaxy Note 9 probably wins in the outside for having the better display and all that. But the iPhone 12 is still a very, very good phone. I mean, this is a brand new device, so both of them are going to be really good in terms of the build quality. Now, in terms of the software experience, you're pretty much going to be getting a much longer and much better software experience on the iPhone 12 than on the Samsung Galaxy Note 9. With the Note 9, it's pretty much already outdated. As you can saw probably in the beginning of this video, I did get an update, but that's probably just for like a One UI 2.5 or something. So I don't think it's not getting One UI 3, unfortunately. I wish it was, because that's not a crazy big upgrade, but it has a lot of cool capability that the Note 9 could have supported. But with the iPhones and with the iPhone 12, you don't have to worry about that. The iPhone 12 is going to be supported for so many years, it's not even funny. It's going to outlast all the Samsung phones that came out this year, let alone the Note 9. So I can definitely tell you, between these two, the iPhone 12 definitely wins in the software experience. So there's no point in even rambling on it further. The iPhone 12 is definitely going to win there. Now let's go ahead and do a little bit of a speed test between both of these devices. Now, the iPhone 12 has that Apple A14 Bionic chip inside of it with 4 GB of RAM, where the Samsung Galaxy Note 9 has that Qualcomm Snapdragon 845 chipset inside of it with 6 GB of RAM on that base model and then 8 GB of RAM on the top tier model. So let's go and see which one is the faster phone between both of these. Okay, now that we're back, let me go ahead and clear all the apps in the background. As you can see, Note 9, easy to just swipe out of all of them. The iPhone 12 took a little second, so let's go and hop into all of them. Let's go and do phone calls, 3, 2, 1. And definitely I think the iPhone 12 is faster there. Gesture-wise, I think the iPhone 12 may be a little bit smoother there. Messages, 3, 2, 1. Okay, I don't really know which one. I think maybe the iPhone 12. Let's do their app stores, 3, 2, 1. And you can see, I think the Note 9 may have been a little bit faster. It was extremely close on both. I don't really know if there was a complete faster one, but that was definitely something that was very interesting to me. Let's go and hop out of this one. And as always, I have a bunch of these third-party apps. Well, not a crazy amount, but a good amount. Let's go and do Facebook. 3, 2, 1. And again, the iPhone 12 is the faster one there. Let's go and hop out of this one. Let's go and do the next one, which is Snake versus Blocks. 3, 2, 1. And you can see the Note 9 was slightly faster just by a little bit. That was something that was very surprising to me. Let's go and get into some gameplay and see if they glitch up at all. And I don't think they are. I think they're going to be roughly around the same. So as you can see, kind of have the same thing going on. So that's actually very, very good in my opinion. Let's go ahead and do whichever this one is, Paper IO2. 3, 2, 1. And actually the the Note 9 was faster there too. Now this is something that's very surprising. I never really understand how, the differences between these, because sometimes, I mean, you would think the iPhone 12 would be faster because it's way newer, but that doesn't really seem to be the case. In terms of gameplay, let's see if there's a huge difference, and it doesn't seem like there's going to be. Kind of seems like the same thing going on. So let's go and hop out of here. Let's go ahead and do Temple Run. Let's go and skip that. Let's do Thank You. 3, 2, 1. And you can see the iPhone 12 slightly faster, not a humongous difference, but slightly faster on the iPhone 12 right there. Let's go and hop out of this one. Let's go ahead and do Temple Run 2. 3, 2, 1. And I totally screwed that up. Go and do Temple Run 2 again. 3, 2, 1. And you can see the iPhone 12 is slightly faster than the Samsung Galaxy Note 9. Again, not an insane difference, but definitely a noticeable one. As you can see, the Note 9 just got into it where the iPhone 12 was in it for a couple of seconds before. Now getting into some gameplay, let's see if there's a big difference. And as always, I don't really think there's going to be an insane difference. So as you can see, it is what it is. So let's go and hop out of here. Let's go and do the next one. BOFA, 3, 2, 1. And the iPhone 12 was definitely far faster than the Samsung Galaxy Note 9 for sure. Let's go and hop out of here. Let's do Fruit Ninja. 3, 2, 1. And for some reason, the Note 9 opened it, then it closed out, and then it randomly opened back into it. So I don't know what made it do that, but it's very weird. And eventually we get into it on the Note 9. So animations and everything are always going to be faster on iOS than on the Samsung side of things and just Android in general. Let's go and end it off with Stack. 3, 2, 1. And as you can see, the Samsung Galaxy Note 9 was able to get into the app faster overall. So I'm kind of confused about this specific speed comparison. I was expecting there to be a consistent winner every single time. And honestly, I was expecting the iPhone 12 to be the faster one every single time. But that didn't end up being the case. The Samsung Galaxy Note 9 was definitely a faster device in so many different cases. So I think that's honestly pretty interesting. I think for sure when it comes down to it, the iPhone 12 is probably the smoother one. But the Note 9 was faster in some cases. So that pretty much covers up the speed comparison. Let's go ahead and hit on the cameras. Now, I think I did do a full camera comparison between these phones. I honestly do not remember because it's been a couple of months since I even compared these phones. But as you can see, they both have dual camera setups on the back. The iPhone 12 has a 12 megapixel wide, then a 12 megapixel ultra wide sensor, where the Samsung Galaxy Note 9 has a 12 megapixel wide angle lens, then another 12 megapixel telephoto lens. Now, with the Samsung Galaxy Note 9 camera, I think for the most part, it's actually been a pretty good camera overall. I think it was actually pretty good when it first came out, and I think even now it still holds up extremely well if my phone screen wants to open. I think this camera, for the telephoto lens that it is extremely good. You can zoom in a lot into a photo. I wish it did have an ultra-wide sensor though. I think that would have been probably the best use of that secondary lens, but as Samsung does, and I love them for doing this, they add so much capability into the camera, so that is something that I've always preferred. I always love Samsung whenever they do things like that, and this is no exception. They offered a lot of different capability into this specific camera, which is nice, and even a couple years later after this phone's release, it still holds up extremely well just because of the capability that's behind this camera. Now, you can do 4K at 60 on the back camera, which is really good, but you can only do 1440p on the front camera, so it does kind of suck no 4K at 60 on the front, where the iPhone 12 actually has that. And I think a phone like the iPhone 12 actually does offer probably more of a consistent capability and consistent quality overall. I think the Samsung Galaxy Note 9's camera is extremely good, but the iPhone 12 with its 4K at 60 on the back and the front, as well as that ultra-wide sensor as opposed to the telephoto lens, I think you're getting more capability from something like an iPhone 12 camera. That doesn't necessarily mean that the iPhone 12's camera is 30 times better than the Note 9's, but it does say some aspects of the iPhone 12 camera is better. And I think you're going to be getting getting better quality images sometimes from the Note 9, but I feel like as an overall camera, the camera is going to be better on the iPhone 12. Better video quality, better audio quality, and probably better photo modes too. And the fact that you do have 4K 60 on the front really adds a lot more character to the iPhone 12 camera. So I think the iPhone 12 is probably the better camera when it comes down to it between these two. Now, I did do a battery comparison between these two, and I actually found that the Samsung Galaxy Note 9 has better battery life than the iPhone 12. So keep that in mind. If you're trying to get the phone with the best battery life, the Samsung Galaxy Note 9 is probably going to be the better way to go. So to kind of sum up this video and to answer the question, should you go and pick up an iPhone 12 or should you go and pick up a Samsung Galaxy Note 9? Now, let me go ahead and tell you some pros and cons for the Note 9 first. Now, first of all, this phone has a lot of capabilities still. I mean, it has a beautiful display, arguably a better display than the iPhone 12. It's faster in some cases than the iPhone 12, which is very surprising. The build quality, I think, is better on the Note 9 than the iPhone 12, which is another huge aspect for this phone. You have the S Pen capability. Battery life is better on the Galaxy Note 9. You still have IP certification, and you have a microSD card slot on the Samsung Galaxy Note 9 as well. And if you have this phone, I mean, this phone is cheaper now than the iPhone 12 as well. And it's such a good phone still. Like, I don't really have too many complaints about this specific device, which is huge. I don't want to have a device where I'm going to complain about. And this is, a device where it's still kind of getting updates and it's a very good phone still. But the iPhone 12, I think if I had to go and pick up a phone between these two, it's just almost like a no-brainer in my standpoint. And the reason I say that is mostly because of the specific, longevity that the iPhone 12 holds over the Samsung Galaxy Note 9. The Note 9 is pretty much outdated as of this point. It's going to be outdated very, very soon. It's going to be getting security updates here and there. But as a majority of a phone, you're still getting full OS updates from this phone. Obviously, it just got released. It's a smoother phone overall than the Galaxy Note 9. And I think, the camera quality is better on the iPhone 12. I think the overall phone quality is better. Whatever that means. I think the speakers are better on this phone too. But there are some cases where I think the Note 9 is just better. You have the S Pen, you have a faster performing phone potentially, and you have better battery life from this phone too. So there's not really a crazy humongous difference between these two phones, and there's not like one phone that just knocks the other one out of the park. It just seems like these two phones are kind of killing it in two different areas. The Note 9, if it was still getting software support, this would be like a no-brainer to me. If this thing was getting One UI 3 and One UI 4 and One UI 5, I would recommend this phone like crazy, but unfortunately that's not the case. The iPhone 12 though is getting, longer software support, so that's why I'd probably recommend more people to pick up an iPhone 12 or upgrade from your Note 9 to an iPhone 12 than vice versa. So that pretty much covers it up. If you guys have any other questions or anything, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. Every single subscriber that we get really does count, so it means so much if you guys can hit that. Also check out the other links down in the description as well. My Twitter, my Instagram, my other channels. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.